Hey guys, how's it going? It's Snoob Reviews here, and we're going to talk about another chapter of One Piece, Chapter 6. Number 1 is the title, and yeah, so this is one of the few chapters of One Piece that doesn't have an actual drawn cover page separate from the story, or a side arc, or a cover page arc, you know. It's really just jumps right into the actual manga, like we just get right into the chapter, and let's get into it. So yeah, as I said, the chapter's titled Number One, and Luffy's talking to Zoro, and he's like, "You'll join my crew if I untie you." Zoro's just like, I don't have much of a choice, bro. You kind of have my swords. I'm kind of tied up, and the Marines are gonna kill me, I guess. So yeah, that seems like the verdict. And the rest of the Marines are kind of still shocked. They're like, "What? Bullets are just bouncing off him?" So in the East Blue, there's not that many devil fruits at this point. I think 90% of people who have devil fruits are in the Grand Line. There's not very many outside. You will see some, I think, in filler arcs and side arcs, but for the most part, they're only in the Grand Line. And then the thing about devil fruits, you learn later, but we'll just cut through the brass stuff. We'll just get right into it. When you die after having eaten a devil fruit besides the revived vibe fruit, you the devil fruit goes to the nearest tree or fruit bearing object, the nearest fruit essentially, and turns it into a devil fruit. Well, most people who have devil fruit powers are going to be on the Grand Line. Most people who die are going to be on the Grand Line. There's a reason they call it well, they call it Paradise later, but they call it the pirate graveyard. So anyways, they aren't really familiar with what's going on with Luffy right now, and they don't understand he's made of rubber and their shells aren't going to pierce him. But anyways, we cut back over to Morgan, and he's like, he's not an ordinary, say the devil fruit. His crew's like, what? You know, those treasures from the sea. So they know of them. They just aren't familiar with seeing people regularly. They're like, that's crazy. He's got powers. Like, what do we do? We're just humans. And so they start shouting, he's untying Zoro, and we need to do something, but we can't shoot him. And Morgan lets us in on kind of the best way to deal with Luffy. His weakness is anything that's sharp, anything that can actually sear the rubber that is Luffy. And so early on, swords are used. I mean, they have a way of dealing with swords even later, unless you're a very talented swordsman. But early fodder, yeah, swords can be a very scary thing for Luffy. Literally, scissors are more dangerous to Luffy than a gun. But they're charging at Luffy, and Luffy's trying to untie Zoro, and he's struggling super hard with it. And right then, Kobe screams, he's like, "They're coming! Zoro, Luffy, watch out, man!" And Luffy's like, I'm trying, as fast as I can, man." And Zoro's like, "There's no time!" And they're just screaming at each other. And Luffy manages to get one of his arms untied, and he's like, "Hey, I got one." And he's just sitting there with a big grin on his face. And Zoro's just like, "Give me a sword, man! Just give me a damn sword, and I'll do it myself." And yeah, so they manage to get out of this situation, and we get a beautiful shot early on of Zoro doing his three sword style. First time we get to see him rocking the three swords. As you can see, he rocks one sword in his mouth, one in each hand, and he blocks. It's like a total of 6-7 blades that he blocks, all with his three swords. Talented swordsmanship right there. No, it's pretty cool. And then he's got his back turned to him, and he's not even flinching, man. He's got the whole double cross here. It looks crazy. I don't know how practical his swordplay is in reality, but you gotta love it. So they're all converged on Zoro, and Zoro's blocking him, and they all know he's a pretty talented swordsman for the East Blue, but they think they can take him with numbers, but Zoro just gives him this death glare, and he just intimidates him. He's like, "The first one of you moves, gone." And those guys are just like, "Oh dear God, he really is a demon." They're so scared, and I mean, the guy just blocked 7 blades with 3 swords by himself. if you think someone's capable of dealing with you, I think Zoro's the man to bet on. So Zoro's talking to Luffy while he's blocking these guys. For some reason, they're just holding their swords there, but he's like, all right, I gave you my word. I'll be a pirate. I'll join your crew. I'll be a scallywag. He's like, I fought the Navy, therefore I'm officially an outlaw. Like, I'm wanted. And he's like, but I'm not giving up my dreams just to go on your silly adventure. If you start affecting my dreams, you know, you're gonna have to pay for that. He's like, I'm going to be the greatest swordsman. That's all I have left is being the greatest swordsman. He's like, everything else is up to be destiny. And he's like, my name will be infamous. He's like, I'm going to shake the world. He's got true ambition. He has 100% belief that he can do it, which goes right with Luffy. I mean, he blindly believes he'll be Pirate King. Zoro sounds like he comes more from a place of conviction, where Luffy comes more from a place of, it almost seems like naivety. I think Luffy has the conviction, the same conviction Zoro does. He just doesn't present it the same way. Zoro, when he talks about becoming the greatest swordsman, is very serious and upfront about it, and he doesn't like joke around about it. Really, it's not like something he laughs off or just starts shouting to people defiantly. And so he makes sure to tell Luffy, he's like, I'll hold you accountable for this. He's like, I'll make you commit harikiri, which is a ritual suicide, for doing anything that makes me give up on my dream, anything that derails me from the road I'm on right now. And Luffy, doesn't even worry about it. He doesn't think there's gonna be an issue. He's like, the greatest swordsman in the world. That's great, perfect, man. I'm gonna be Pirate King. Anything else less than that's gonna, make me look, not quite up to T with everything else. He's like, the world's greatest swordsman. He's like, that's great, man. He's like, perfect. He's like, I'm gonna be Pirate King. Why wouldn't I have the world's greatest swordsman on there? The Pirate King has to have the world's greatest swordsman. So we were destined to meet here, man. It's set. Or else, I'd be just looking like an idiot. Yeah, Luffy, you look like an idiot. But we love you. And so the Marines are still coming at him. They're trying to deal with Zoro and Luffy while they're having their just conversation in the middle of this. Zoro's going on about Luffy are full of big talk. And Morgan's just sitting back and he's like, why are you guys hesitating? Deal with these scumbags. They're just petty criminals. They're nothing to us. We're the Marines. We deal with these situations. And friggin' Luffy flips around and just gives him a nice little gum whip right to the stomach, sends all of them flying, which I believe is, the first time we see gum whip, which I actually dig. I've been playing this One Piece game in my stream lately, and quite useful. Just take out crews and crews of them. It's Pirate Warriors 3, nothing like crazy, but been enjoying it a bunch. You get to play all the way up through Dressrosa, so pretty stoked on that. But yeah, gum whip, get a full page spread right here. It's just nice Luffy, full on sending bros flying like he should, the best way he does. So everyone's just kind of like, just dealt with like 10 Marines, no problem. Even Zoro just turns and like, what's up with you, man? People don't do that kind of shit. They don't just put their foot way out there, sending people flying, just, repelling bullets. He's like, what's your deal? And Kobe at this point, he knows what's going on more or less, but everyone's just kind of in awe, like, at what he can do with his actual powers, which, like I said, Oda goes all out with what you can do with rubber. He really gets pretty inventive in what Luffy can do and how he goes about doing it. It's really enjoyable to see the dynamics in fights. It's one of the best shonen fighters. Like, I watched Naruto. I haven't read the manga, but I watched the whole animation, and phenomenal coordinated fighting. All the animation for the fights looks super cool. Really enjoy it. But there's something about One Piece that just makes fights so wacky, so just out there and interesting at what characters can do and what abilities they're capable of. Nothing comes close. So yeah, Luffy just, tells him, I'm a rubber man. Like, bro, come on. And everyone else is like, rubber man? Like, what the hell is that? Like, oh my gosh, Captain, we can't handle them. We got Zoro the demon with 3 swords, and we've got a rubber man. Like, you just expect us to deal with this on the regular? And Luffy and Zoro just kind of like, yeah, we're badasses. We already knew this, but you guys have just been informed. So, welcome to the general consensus, and please step in line and move to the side while we go on our mission. But Morgan's ain't having none of this. Morgan's like, hear me. All y'all cowards. You're just sitting there, whining and moaning. He's like, you will put your gun to your head. And he's like, I won't tolerate this. Defeat us in my outfit. And he's like, on my order, fire. He's telling them to blow their brains out. And the Marines are they're just doing it. I don't know what kind of training. Sorry. I don't know what kind of training the Marines have gone through, but damn, these guys are committed, even killing themselves to be Marines. Like, they literally, that's how much of a tyranny Morgan's has over them. And Zoro even notices this. He's like, man, there's something wrong with these Marines. Like, what is going on? You guys would literally blow your brains out just because your captain orders you to? This guy's a lunatic. And Luffy's kind of added up to here. He doesn't say it outright, but he just charges at Morgan and them. He's like, hey, I'm your enemy now. He's like, you try putting me to death. Sentence me to death, man. Oh, yeah? I'd like to see you try. And Morgan's is like just taken off guard. Luffy just grabs him by the axe. And Kobe's had it, Kobe's like, Luffy, destroy this navy. I mean, that's Kobe's dream. He wants to be a Marine, and he wants to be a part of that whole process of stopping bad guys. And then the first Marine base he goes to is just some dude acted like a dick the whole time. His son's a dick, and all the Marines are forced to either dish out punishments that they don't support, or they're getting sentenced to death over, mild disagreements with their captain. It's absurd. And Kobe's just had it up to here. He's just done. And so Luffy and Morgan are fighting still, and he just starts telling me, he's like, you have neither status nor rank. He's like, I'll teach you to defy me. He's like, I am Captain Axe Hand Morgan. And Luffy's just like, nice to meet you. I'm Straw Hat Luffy. And it's the irony of Luffy is, they say he doesn't read tension in the room. It's not that there's even tension. He knows they're fighting. But he's just kind of looking at him like, okay, why are you introducing yourself? Well, I'm Straw Hat Luffy. Nice to meet you, I guess. Now let me kick your ass. And Morgan's just trying to tell him, he's like, you can't defy someone of my stature, my name. I'm Axe Hand Morgan. There's none like me. And he just swings at Luffy in the frustration, just screams, die! And cuts in half a fence behind Luffy, just chops it down. This is cool. This is one of the first chapters we start seeing Oda really get into drawing some good paneled fights. Like, there's a lot of detail going on, and it gets better with time. But yeah, I mean, he just cuts a fence down, but it looks dope. They're getting some true details in here. And Luffy just fires back with, it's like, not Gum Stomp, but he just stomps at him. He just kicks him, he jumps above his axe and just kicks him right in the chest and sends him flying back. It's cool because he's literally outmaneuvering Morgan. Everyone else is just kind of like, is the captain really losing? Like, what is going on? Nobody stood up to the captain before. So, I talked about this earlier in another chapter overview, and it's Morgan, like, has this, like, chunk of his elbow that sticks out a bunch. It's like the actual axe that's attached to his hand, like, the full hilt, I think is what it would be called, for an axe, goes down to, like, past his elbow, and he grabs it like this and swings really hard. He, like, uses it to build a harder swing, and he tries to cut Luffy in half. But, of course, the rubber boy is super flexible. He just busts a barrel roll off to the side, and then it just sends Morgan back with another kick, just kicks him right in the face. I mean, literally, he's just outmaneuvering him at every turn. And Morgan's never dealt with anything like this. Insubordination, probably very seldom. Actual criminals on his base, very seldom. Let alone a devil fruit user who's ready to fight for his life. Like Luffy would say, don't make decisions too rashly about when dealing with pirates. You know, it's something along that. Yeah, I just totally butchered that. But either way, the principle none the same. It's like, yo, I'm a pirate. I'm ready to commit and put my life on the line. You're over there playing Marine Captain, acting like rank and status means you're a powerful person. He's like, I'll beat you in a fist fight, man. It's just what's gonna happen. And yeah, everyone's sitting there, and the odds are pretty much clear. Luffy is stronger than Morgan. He's just pummeling him, and even the Marines and Kobe are just like, whoa, he is too strong. So Luffy's just laying into Morgan. He's pissed. He's like, man, you know, Kobe was super excited to be here and be a Marine, and you're ruining his dreams. Like, I'm not going to stand for it. I like Kobe. Kobe's a person I respect and consider my friend, and you're over here just pissing on his dreams. Just about that time, though, well, Luffy's just really laying into Morgan. Helmeppo yells, like, stop! He's like, stop, you idiot! And he's just, like, freaking out, and he's trying to save his dad. And, you know, Luffy just looks over, he's like, and Zoro's just sitting there in silence, and Luffy sends Morgan flying with one more punch, and then, you know, Helmeppo's like, I said stop! And, he's got a gun up against Kobe's head. He's, you know, holding Kobe hostage to try and get Luffy to stop beating up Morgan and try and reestablish, I guess, their dominance in the situation. And Kobe turns and he just yells to Luffy, he's like, let him kill me. You know, he's trying to show the same conviction Luffy has. He's like, I'm fine with it, you know, Luffy, I'm willing to die, you know, just so people like this can stop, which is cool. It shows Kobe's like tired of being a stepped on child. He doesn't even care if it means he's gonna lose his life. He's still gonna stand by what he believes in. And that really makes Luffy happy. He's just sitting there, he's like, you know, Kobe, you're a good guy, man. Which, hey, Kobe is a good guy. There's a lot of Kobe haters out there in the YouTube world. I think he's just a lame character, but I like Kobe. He's just a good-natured dude. He wants the best in the world. You can't hate a character like that. You know, he doesn't have to be a favorite. You know, Kobe ain't my favorite character, but I definitely enjoy when it takes me back to early One Piece, which is what it should do, right? But Luffy kind of just, I'm not gonna let you die. He just doesn't even listen to Kobe after that. He's just kind of like, you know, you're a good guy. I like you, Kobe. I ain't gonna let you die. And Morgan's coming up on Luffy right behind him, and the whole while Luffy's just cocking back his gum pistol. He's like, oh yeah, like, hey, idiot son of that captain, Kobe means it, you know, you should probably pull the trigger. And he's like, or else I'll just hit you. And that's when Kobe's like screaming, he's like, Luffy, Morgan's gonna get you, he's coming up. And Luffy's not even concerned. He's just like, you know, gum. And Morgan's like, you've assaulted an officer of the Navy. And Luffy's just like, gum. And sends Helmeppo flying with that pistol to the face. Which, like I said, Oda loves showing some ugly bastards get their face beat in. And Helmeppo was none the exception. He just pummels him and sends him flying. And all the while, Luffy knows, you know, Morgan's coming up on him. He's not that dumb, but he knows he can trust in his newfound crewmate Zoro to just deal with this dude, which he does ever so nicely. And we get some good camaraderie. You just hear Luffy go Zolo after he's like, nice. He knew the whole time that Zoro had his back. He knew that it was going to get dealt with. And having trust in someone you just met, let alone a new crewmate, at that degree is good. He trusts Zoro 100%, the same Zoro, and trusts him 100% at this point. They both read each other in a fight really well. They don't even have to communicate. Literally, Luffy's just saying, nice, Zolo. Just to comment on the fact that, you know, that was a good cut, man. You really stood up to the par that I was holding you to. And you'll be more than a fine member of my crew. And so, no, it was real cool seeing. You guys see Zoro just kind of looking like the badass side character. He just doesn't need to say anything. He just understands. The main character says it all. Zolo's a badass, and he's just like sweat captain. And yeah, it really establishes, yo, their crew. They're officially a pirate crew. It's not just a pirate roaming and a bounty hunter. Zolo's a part of the Straw Hat Pirates now. He's the first member, which awesome. First member down. We've only got 9 more to go if you count Jinbei. Which that's up in the air still, but let's get it, guys. No, thanks for stopping by. This is my chapter overview. I keep wanting to say review. I'm sure that's probably even the proper term, but hey, I've stuck to overview so far. So the chapter overview for chapter 6, number 1. And yeah, appreciate it, guys. Try and get some more content out. The chapters seem to be a little faster because we're getting more into the actual arc, and there's not as much dialogue or major world development yet. But we'll be getting into some more stuff. The next chapter will be the last chapter revolving around the Marine base and the Zolo introduction. We'll be going into Orange Town next. So yeah, they called it Port Town in the Viz Media translation, but I'm pretty sure it's Orange Town if I remember right. But I'll look into that before we make that video. Thanks, guys. Noob Reviews. Checking out. Later.